What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. Today we are working on my daughter's 2008 Hyundai Sonata. It is the one with a 3.3 liter V6, and it has developed a massive oil leak coming from the rear valve cover. It is so bad that the car's a heck of a smoke show going down the road. Looks like it's on fire. Let me see. I don't know if the camera will focus, but let's see. Maybe you can see it, but it is pouring right on top of the catalytic converter. So not only is it a smoke show, it's a fire hazard. So we're gonna get that fixed. I got new gaskets on the seat. So basically just kind of go over with you guys what I'm gonna do for any of you out there who are interested or want to know how much or what it entails to do this job. I'm gonna use simple tools and try to go over the full process with you as I go along. I am going to put you in the stand. We are going to time lapse a little bit, but I am going to go over all the tools used. And for the most part, what I'm looking at, it looks like it's all 10mm bolts. So very simple. First things first, we are going to undo the negative battery cable. And I like to undo the negative because if I ever slip with the wrench and I'm on it and I come in contact with the car itself, it doesn't throw sparks because it grounds directly to the car. And as you can see, this is one of those auto parts store replacements. There's nothing wrong with these. Definitely get you out of a pinch. It's cheap, but you can see it clamps the wire to the lead terminal here. And if it ever gets loose, you can always take this little plate, turn it around, and these little indentions here will help push your cable tighter against the clamp. So if you have a problem with a connector or something like that, you can usually flip that around. At least help you get to the auto parts store so you can buy another replacement. So we got that undone. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Next, we're going to go ahead and get the air box out. And let's see here. That's just these little clamps right here. Then we'll take a 10mm off this guy over there. So once that's off, I'll go ahead and start just pulling off all the 10mm I can get to. Gonna have to go ahead and start unplugging all the coil packs as well. Injectors. Probably gonna get a bunch of the harness off so we can lay it off to the side. The neat thing about this car being this old, that all the harness, the tape, and everything, because of the heat cycles it goes through constantly, it's really easy to remember where everything goes. You basically just put the harness back over the top and it almost lays exactly where it's supposed to go. So that is definitely a big help. And if you ever, you don't remember or you're worried about it, then grab yourself a piece of tape, a Sharpie, and you can mark it. That usually helps. So go ahead and get you in the stand, get you up over the engine. We're going to start pulling all the bolts on the harness, and then I'll go over everything with you once I got everything undone.
Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.
All right, we got the intake off. I've also went ahead and pulled the rear valve cover. I'm going to go over with you guys the front valve cover. I'm going to change this one out real fast, get that back on. But anyways, mostly 10mm bolts to remove the intake. And then you guys saw I just pulled the harness, oops, up over the front like this. Got everything out of the way. As you can see there, rear valve cover is off. To note, there is one support here on the back of the intake to help keep it up. That is a 14mm bolt for there. We have got another little support up here in the front, down underneath the throttle body, right down there. That is a 12mm nut bolt. And then it is easier just to remove the tins out of the throttle body. Let that sit there because there is a passage, a water port. Where is it? There it is. It runs across the backside there, and it is kind of difficult to get to, so just pull the tins out of the throttle body, let that hang. And here is our rear valve cover. And here's at the very backside, which is directly above that catalytic converter. Now this is supposed to be a rubber gasket, and you can hear it. It's just breaking off, so heat cycles, from all the heat cycles from starting and stopping, and is what caused it to get brittle, and it just broke, dumping all kinds of oil all over the exhaust. You can see here, just breaks, and these are actually rubber. So that's what was causing our issue. Overall, took about 28 minutes is what you guys are going to see there, worth of time lapse. That's how long it took me to get the intake off. As long as you just pay attention, pull the 10mm bolts, and if you can help yourself out by putting the hardware that you took out back in the spot when moving the loom to the side, that'll save you a bunch of time when you put it back together. So I'm going to get this back gasket changed out, get that rear valve cover back on. So I'll be back here in a second, and we'll go over all the steps to change it out using the front. Okay, rear valve cover is back on. I also went ahead and threw the intake on as well. And so you're wondering, we've got so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10mm bolts that holds this section on. And of course you got these two tins right here for a bracket. And then if you come back here, just so you get a good reference, there's that 14 I was talking about on this brace right here. You have two tins right here. Come around to the other side. Underneath our air box, there is a 12 down under there, and then you got the 3 tins, 1, 2, 3 under there, holding our throttle body on. You got these two hoses back here. So if you get all those tins out, you get the hoses pulled off, that intake will come out of your way. And if you're wondering, it is a rubber O-ring seal. So each one of those little ports down there, the two of them together, there's a pair. It'll have three O-ring sets. So the upper plenum is just, it's O-rings, just kind of like the same material as the valve covers. Those are still in pretty decent shape, so I went ahead and kept those in there. So I got my little peanut over here. Where is she? There she is. I'm going to give her the camera. She's going to record, and we're going to do all this in real time. We're going to go ahead and zip this valve cover off and then show you guys what I did to get the old gasket out, because this one is most likely going to be as hard as the back one. And I basically just had to chip it out, but I'm going to go ahead and give her the camera, and then we're going to go through and zip this valve cover off. There you go, kiddo. You ready? See if I got my tools. Yep. All right, so come on in here. All these bolts are the same as it would be on the back side. So here I am, goofing off now, losing tools. There we go. So we'll get this bracket right here out of the way. Boom. There's just a couple of tins. And these things, they're not really tight. They're pretty handy, actually. But some of these, I would zip them off with my little impact there. But some of these are kind of difficult to get to. So, and then go ahead and put that there. All right. That guy. My little extension. So, get all these, and if all these bolts are the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. All the perimeter bolts and the bolts in the center where the spark plugs are at, all these tins are the same size, if you can see. See that? All those are there. Oh, I heard that one hit the ground. Whew. That's the second time today I've heard the thing hit the ground. It's just always nice. I don't have to get in here with a magnet or a flashlight or a mirror. Let's see, grab it. And try to hunt these things down. It's always nice when you hear, I mean, dropping them's not nice, but it is always nice being able to find them after you drop them. Here. Come on, back over this way. All right. There you go. Butterfingers again. The little ball's worn out on this drill. I'm just putting all those up there. And we got all the bolts around spark plugs. It's real time. All right. That should be all the bolts. Now, I'm sure you don't have to well, you do have to pull the coil packs and the injector, or at least have to pull the coil packs and the harness off the coil packs. You could probably get away with not having to pull the whole harness like I did. I just like doing it because it moves everything out of my way. I don't have to worry about overstretching wires or breaking clips. It's just as long as I get it out of my way, I'm good. Oh, somebody cheated. So this one's been changed already. So I am not going to be able to show you what I did, but I took on the last one where you can see this rock hard stuff here. Let's see if I can set it in here. Nope, that's right. But where this guys were sitting in there, the rock hard gasket, the old one, I used a little punch and just kind of went in there and chiseled it out. It just snaps. It's rock hard, so it just usually just broke off. But I can't believe, well, I guess I can. So it had a valve cover leak on the front, I guess, once before. So then they changed it out. Now the back one finally gave up. I'm a big fan. Usually, I mean, you don't have to. This was fine. If that was the only one that was leaking, you can get away with it, especially if you can especially if you can buy those one at a time. Saves you a little bit of money, saves you some labor and stuff like that. If you're at a shop, I like to buy them in pairs and do them both at the same time. But there's nothing wrong with just doing the one, except for especially if there's nothing wrong with the other one. So, but anyways, I was cheated, so I won't be able to show you guys that. And of course, here's our new gasket. Go on over here, so you can see how they're held together, just like that. They are directional, so make sure you get the right ones going in the right spots, and you can usually line them up by that guy there. And it's easy to tell because the coil packs, or the ones where the spark plugs go, that little strip is on the top side. So that's what helps locate it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with just changing the one. So and it just steps in there. Now I will tell you this, if you are changing them yourself, right here where the timing cover's at, there's two spots on the top here and the bottom where the timing cover meets the block. When you're changing out the valve cover, make sure you clean that. Get that off there real good. And then when you put the valve cover back on, the new one, make sure to add just a little bit of silicone right there. It helps ensure that the gasket doesn't leak because they're two different mating surfaces. So this could be a little high, a little low. Granted, the rubber O-ring is probably going to do a good job by itself. But just for a little insurance, go ahead and just add a little dab. So now I'll get all the wiring hooked back up. We'll get the coil packs back in, get everything plugged back in, fire it up, make sure it doesn't leak. And then want to help my daughter out a little bit because she left here, I don't know, I want to say probably about 2 months ago. She left at night and plowed into a deer. So let's see if I can't get this back on the little clip there. You can see we got this clip, has these two little tangs. Try to get this pressed back into there to hold the bumper up. Drill out a couple holes here, zip tie all this stuff back together. See if we can't make it look a little better. At least try to keep that bumper from dragging on the ground or getting caught in the front wheel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything plugged back in, get this thing fired up, and then see if we can't make that look a little better. We got everything. Sing it, sing it. Yeah. All right, we got everything put back together. Engine is running, as you can see. I'm trying to let it warm up and burn some of the oil that's left over on the manifolds back there. That way my daughter doesn't have to deal with it when she drives home. Everything seems to be doing pretty good. Engine's running fine. So I'm going to continue to let it run. But what I am going to do now is we're going to get some of that dent out right there. Try to get this guy up in its little bracket, that way it holds. And then we're going to stitch or duct tape, glue. We're going to put that back together. That way it's not hanging. So put you in the little tripod right here. I'll go ahead and push that out a little bit. Bang on it. And then we're going to get into polishing that headlight right there. So it looks like this one right here. Now it is not 100%, but this headlight looked like this one. And I've actually got all the stuff right here set up. So once I'm finished pounding out the dent in that fender, or most of it out, and then we'll get the bumpers put back on, I'll set you guys up again in front, and we're going to do a little time lapse on that. I started off with 800 and ended with 5,000. I've got this stuff right here, Plastic X. Get it from the local auto parts store for, well, restoring plastic. And if you get on eBay and type in pneumatic detail buffer, you'll come up with this guy here. I know that you can use an electric drill as well. I like this because it's kind of a little, it's dual action. It doesn't spin. It's kind of like a sander, so DA. But I'll get you in the little stand right here. Get a little time lapse of pulling that out. We'll stitch that bumper back together and polish this other headlight. All right, headlights are polished as you guys saw there on the video. This thing is almost completely burned off all the oil that was stuck inside that exhaust manifold. So show you guys here what everything looks like. So there's our headlight. With probably another 30 minutes or so, we could get a little bit more shine back out of it, but that is definitely a transformation from where it was. You can see we stitched the bumper back together using some zip ties. And if you really don't want to see the zip ties, you can always grab yourself some Gorilla Tape there, and now can't even tell. It's like brand new. So, but anyways, I know my daughter will appreciate the bumper stitched back together, especially those headlights, and no more smoke in the cab as she's driving down the street. So, and that is, well, I'm done for the day. I got to clean my mess. I got all my little tools scattered all over the place. Got some more organizing to do in here, clean up some stuff. Next video, we'll bust into that trailer over there because I did go get that project I keep telling you guys about. I am super excited. Definitely going to be a fun build. So I hope you guys tune in for that. If you're new and you've made it this far through this video, and I wasn't too boring, hit that subscribe button for me. Ring that bell. They say got a bunch of neat projects. Definitely got to get back on that because I really want to do something good, cool with that this year. We're going to get that 58 fired up and see if we can get it moving under its own power. And of course, my new project that's in that trailer. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate all your guys' support. I'll catch you later.